Great. I'm delighted to welcome Benjamin Storey to the stage now. Benjamin works with Barclays, and at Discovery Park, we are proud to be the only Kent-based Discovery Park Eagle Lab. So for those of you who are not familiar with Eagle Labs, it's a fantastic co-working space within our site where the Eagle Lab team offer up a range of support packages for early stage companies. So they have female founder programs, they have bridge programs where they connect companies working in a similar space, they provide mentoring and a whole range of business support. And Benjamin's going to tell you a little bit about the Investor Readiness program and then the new demo directory that they've launched. So, Benjamin Storey.
More disconcerting than a room of silence when you come to the stage. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all well, and thanks for coming to listen to me talk today about the demo directory and the Funding Readiness program. Is this the clicker? Yeah, perfect. Hold on. Perfect. So, thank you very much for coming to join us, myself. So, I'm Benjamin Storey. I'm Head of Investor Connectivity Platforms and Propositions at Barclays Eagle Labs. I cover the Eagle Labs and the High Growth Entrepreneurs team that we have in Barclays. And I'm also the Head of Barclays Demo Directory as well. Okay, so if we'd had this conversation, or if I stood here about a year ago, not many of you maybe have heard of Barclays Eagle Labs. So we are one of the UK's largest networks of incubators and accelerators, with over 38 sites from Aberdeen down to Bournemouth, Belfast over to Norwich. And our role here is not only to support local ecosystems with physical sites, but to run programs and support, and ultimately support to try and help drive the UK entrepreneurial ecosystem to growth. So we do that by leveraging the connectivity of Barclays organisation and the connectivity we have in local regions. We run growth programs, just over 20 virtual growth programs covering a variety of different sectors and stages. We have the network and ecosystem of Barclays there to try and, again, add value to the local ecosystem, as well as leveraging experts in specialist partners. We have an online learning platform known as our LMS, which is there to provide basic content of, again, learning about how to go through some of the key challenges that founders face. And we have stood up some industries which, again, very much sectoral focused and specialisms. And one of our specialisms in industries is healthcare and life sciences. And why do we do it? We're here to support UK growth, SMEs. We're here to support diversity in entrepreneurship. We're here to help drive societal impact. And we're here to help levelling up across the UK. So, as I say, many of you a year ago may not have heard of who we are, but in April of this year, we were announced as a partner of DCIT, so government organisation, DCIT, and we won a grant which is all about supporting the acceleration of UK startups. So the £12.9 million grant that we received over the pace of 2 years is there to try and amplify and support early stage startups like yourselves to try and grow your business and to ultimately to face the key challenges that you as founders face. So we deal with just under 10,000 founders a year through our programs virtually, and the key challenges that the founders that we support tell us are access to talent, so the team that you need to grow your business, access to experts, so the support, the advisors, the people who have been there and done that, who've got the advice to give you, access to markets, so who you're going to sell into, who are your buyers, how do you get that sales cycle process started, and access to capital, the big one. Everyone needs money, or it feels like almost everyone needs money to get to that next stage. So we run programs to solve or support propositions to support ultimately all of these key challenges that founders face. So here is just a slight different lens or breadth of all of the programs that we run. I won't read it all through, but I'm going to focus on two in particular today. I'm going to focus on our Funding Readiness program and focus on our Demo Directory platform. So just on the slide here, you can see actually the breadth of programs we offer are all around covering the different stages of your business. So it doesn't matter whether you're an ideation or an early stage business, you've just got an idea, you don't know how to get to MVP, or whether you've got that idea, you've gone and you've got the traction, and you're now going through Series A round. We've got different programs aimed at different style of businesses, different stages of businesses, all again to try and solve those key challenges that you face: access to talent, access to markets, access to experts, access to capital. And the two I'm going to touch, as I just said, on the Funding Readiness program and the Demo Directory platform. So, our Funding Readiness program. I'm not going to read the screen, don't worry. The Funding Readiness Programme ultimately is around supporting early stage founders who are not sure about how they go about getting access to the capital they need to grow their business. So the Funding Readiness Programme is around supporting founders to access grant capital, access crowdfunding, or access equity capital. So there are three key factors in which you do it. In the programme we run with a partner called Capital Enterprise, and I've put down the details there of what we cover on our equity programme, from understanding the principles of raising to getting your pitch deck into order, all the way through to understanding the business model and actually, going through those key 5 risks that investors are looking for when they're looking to make an investment decision. I'll leave you to read them line by line. Why do we do this? Well, actually, we understand that there's a disconnect in actually trying to raise capital. We know it's a really competitive market. And we know that actually when we speak to investors, they get quite frustrated with people who are coming to them too early without all of the right information or without it in the right setting. So we leverage the expertise of investors to try and help you as founders to try and get yourself investment ready. As it says here, we aid the preparation, we help you get your deck ready, helps you save time and effort, and hopefully helps you get spotted to get the investment that you need. So we run the Funding Readiness Programme 4 times a year. We've actually we've completed 3 so far this year, had just over 1,000 applicants, and as you can see, 4 in 5 are MVP ready, and roughly 72% are going through their first fundraise. That means that 28% are actually going through for the second or later fundraise. So it's not only aimed at people who haven't raised in the past, it's about honing the skills to help you raise the capital you need. We have a program live currently, or live for applications. It's a free program, as I've said. It runs for 12 weeks. You can apply using the QR code below if it's of interest to you. Applications close on the 5th of January, and it will commence on the 15th of January, and we'll end with the demo day itself in March. Usually we get around 40, 50 investors coming to our live demo days for Funding Readiness Programme. Okay, so Funding Readiness Programme is all about the education to help you get ready to raise capital. It's all about education. Once you're ready, what do you go and do? So we've built another platform called the Demo Directory, and this is all about helping you get in front of the right investors, getting you in front of the investors that could make that investment into your business to help you get to the next level. So, what's the problem here? Well, actually, it's a really competitive market for a start. We know when we speak to founders, we speak to 10,000 founders, just under 10,000 founders a year. Founders tell us they need access, engagement, and exposure to multiple investors. So what do the founders practically do? When you want to raise capital, you might create your deck. You send it to the 10 investors that you think are going to invest, but then you also scattergun. You send it to 20, 30, 40, 50 different investors. It's really inefficient for you as a founder. It takes a lot of time, and you get low success rate, low response rates often as well. We speak to investors. We speak to investors all around the UK and beyond. They tell us they don't like the cold approaches. They don't like that. They find it a really inefficient way of managing deal flow for them. They don't like the fact that quality is not consistent. Some people have a really good deck focusing on something. Some people don't focus on the right things. Too many founders are approaching investors that don't invest in the sector that they're looking for funding in. Again, it's just makes the whole market really inefficient. So we recognise it was inefficient for founders, and we recognise it was inefficient for investors. And there was this crux point about the connectivity part and the spamming and the effort that a founder has to go through to try and raise that capital. So when we're talking about size of this problem, it's not a small problem. Per the data you can see behind, I've actually gleaned this from Bowhurst. I know we're going to have a talk from Bowhurst later. This goes back a couple of years, but we're looking at around 2,000 deals a year looking in this seed and venture stage. So that's 2,000 deals at around £500,000 to £5 million. Which is quite significant. And it's a little known fact, but there's about 150,000 companies a year who are looking to try and raise capital. And the success rate of those companies actually going through to raise capital is between 1% and 2%, which is ridiculous when you think about the efficiency of all the effort you go in to try and raise. So we recognised there was a problem, saw the size of the problem. So we ran a pilot to try and see if we could make a change on trying to make this a more efficient market. So we set up an email distribution list where we were allowing founders to create a listing of their business, of the problems that they were facing, of their want and need to raise capital. We sent it out as a distribution list to the investor network that we had. We started with no investors on there, without any marketing. Over the course of about 18 to 20 months, we had 385 investors to sign up. We supported 640 plus founders who made applications, and you can see some fantastic demographics here around ultimately like the location. We saw a lot of demand for investment from outside of London and Oxford and Cambridge, the Golden Triangle. We know that about 80% of investment goes into that area, but actually there's a high demand from outside of there. So having an online platform solves a lot of the connectivity issues that location drives. We also saw that actually really helped female founders and ethnic founders to get in front of investors where actually they're quite an under-invested population. So in summary of our pilot, we sent out about 38 live editions to investors with 115 founders to demo. And the amazing statistic was that after 6 months, we followed up with all the companies after 6 months, and 49.3% of them had gone on to raise capital. Now, I'm not going to claim that the platform did that. I'm not going to claim that we were the reason they went on to raise capital, but it's a nice summary of the quality of companies that were looking for capital, that were coming through and really needed the support to try and get in front of some investors. So having run the pilot, I think we deemed that as quite successful. So we've decided to invest into a platform to manage scale better, because 640 odd applications was not easy to manage. So we turned the demo directory only recently into a new tech platform. I've jumped too many. So this platform is now live. It was live as of, I think, about 4 weeks ago. 30th of October rings a bell. And the platform allows you as a founder to create a profile on our platform. It allows you to tell investors who come onto the platform to try and find deals. It allows you to tell them the strengths of your business. It tells you to tell them about where you're looking to go and take your business, what capital you're looking to raise, what you've got committed to your round already. You can tell them about the sectors you're working in and the strengths of your team all in one place. We ask you to complete 7 key sort of pitch questions, key elevator style questions. They're all character limited, so enough to keep the investors interested when you're not doing War and Peace, is my point there. And then we put the power in the investor's hands to have the search and filter functionality. So investors can come on, and if they're only interested in a health tech raising £1 million based in Manchester with an ARR of 50k or something, that's all they see. And we say it cuts the noise and keeps the signal, trying to make the inefficiency of connecting a lot easier. So in the pilot, we had an average raise request of about 1.47 million. So far on the new platform, it's about 1.38. So we're looking similar stages. So you're looking at the early stage investment market monitoring, where it's hardest to try and meet those first investors, those angels, those VCTs, etc. As of about a week ago when I wrote this deck, we had 197 live companies who'd got through onto the platform. That's out of about 745 applications we'd had in the first 4 weeks. And again, as of last week, we had about 137 investors live on this platform already. So I'm just going to play a video about a founder who came on during our pilot. They managed to raise capital through the platform, connected to investors through the platform. We're going to talk about that, and hopefully it will touch on the points we want to cover. Can you press? Yeah.
We're in the midst of a cost of living squeeze, and many small businesses are finding it really difficult to access the investment to grow. I want to give founders looking for capital confidence to demystify the process and share tips from other founders who have successfully pitched for investment. I'm here with Anthony Newman, founder of 820, a growing business that had success via Barclays demo directory. Anthony, great to meet you.
Good to meet you too, Tim. Thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward more to hearing about your business. Tell me, what is 820?
820, in one sentence, is water without plastic. We're a guilt-free way to get the purest bottled water on the go without using a plastic bottle.
What's the catalyst for this business idea? Where were you?
I was living in Australia. I met my wife, and she took me on a date to a turtle sanctuary, and we saw the damage done by ocean plastics to these beautiful creatures, and I thought, something's got to be done about this. And that was the focus. How do we get rid of single-use plastic water bottles? That is the mission of 820. So we're doing that in 3 ways. A network of vending machines that dispense ultra-filtered water to the public, 100% plastic-free steel bottle range, stay cold, stay hot, and we donate, as a B Corp, 10% of all of our sales revenues to ocean and freshwater cleanups and conservation. So we're all about helping people to make a decision each day not to use a plastic bottle and to choose refill instead.
So you've gone from the turtle sanctuary to creating this solution. What have been your challenges?
Raising money, outside investment. You've got to create a set of documents and a pitch which is attractive to people that have never heard of your business before, and why they're going to be interested. And finding those investors is hard. So we were looking for any efficient way to get in front of enough of the right investors, and that's when we came across Demo Directory. Got introduced by someone and had a good experience.
There's a big difference between an investor and the right investor.
Indeed there is, yeah.
Anthony, we've touched on investment.
Yeah.
Barclays Demo Directory allows business owners and founders like yourself to network with potential investors.
Yeah.
How did you find the experience?
I had a great experience. It was, for a start, it was free, which was very attractive to startups. The onboarding process was not too complicated, enough details so that you realise you were being targeted towards investors who would be interested in your opportunity, rather than wasting both people's time. And ultimately, we got a result.
Using the service, did that give you an advantage?
Absolutely, in the sense that every founder's trying to get their funding journey completed so you can get on with the business. Getting the investor on board that we did via the network connection of Demo Directory enabled us to soft close our round and get on with building 820. It's definitely helped us along the way.
What have you specifically learnt from your own funding rounds?
It always takes longer than you think. It's a long, drawn-out process. Can be quite draining on the soul, but you've just got to get up with the same energy every day and keep going. And what I'd say is part and parcel of that is prove your concept. Just, even if it's in a very small way, just get some early revenues together so you know that your underlying business idea makes sense. That's going to give you more confidence when you're pitching.
What's your advice for those seeking initial investment?
It's a numbers game. Be prepared to write lots of pitches and approach lots of people. Make sure you're focused, that you're approaching people that are on the right criteria that they're interested in, and just get out and do it, and then get up the next day and do it again, and then the next day.
It's really hard for people to grasp that, though. Sometimes you have to go through an iterative process to learn from that feedback, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, you know, the feedback you get from any conversations you might have with investors is really valuable. It'll tell you what their pain points are and how you can answer that with what your business proposition offers.
The thing we were always keen to tell our investors was where we were, but also get them along the vision of where we're going to.
Completely. Ultimately, people are buying into the team, the concept, and your vision, and you've got to be able to accurately and honestly convey those three things.
Anthony, one last question. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to other small business owners just starting out?
I'd say be achingly clear about why your company exists or why it should exist. If you're not clear about that, don't start. Just work that out and have a mission, have a goal that you're trying to achieve, and make that core to everything that you do and inform everything that your team gets around.
Anthony, it's been so great to speak to you today, to hear about 820, your experience of seeking investment and using Demo Directory.
Oh, it's been brilliant to be here, Tim. Really nice to chat to you about everything, and yeah, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
So I'm pleased I played the video because it reminded me of a few things that I've raced through and forgotten to tell you. The first thing being, it's absolutely free. It's absolutely free for founders. It's absolutely free for investors. This is not a way in which we're trying to solve an efficiency problem in the market. So all it will cost you is the time to put your demo on there, or the investor their email to come and sign up. That's the first thing. The second thing I'd neglected to say was the way the platform's set up is all about getting the right people in front of the right investors, and the right investors to connect with the right founders. Emphasis here is on quality. We want to make sure that companies are investor ready when they come on the platform. So, you know, the application form is a sense check of that. If you can't ably answer all of those questions, it might be that you're not quite ready. And then from an investor's perspective, we only allow a specific type of investor onto the platform. So we only allow what's known as professional investors or self-certified sophisticated investors. And I won't get into regulations because I've spent my whole year talking about these things, but in depth, it means that you won't have bad actors. You shouldn't see any people who are maybe retail investors coming on to try and connect with you, or you should only be connecting with genuine attested investors, qualifying investors, accredited investors. And I think it gives you as a founder the confidence that if they've come onto the platform, they've seen your demo, they've watched your demo video, they've liked what they've seen, they've connected to you, that you're already a step ahead in your engagements with the investor. You know they like what they see, and they're connecting with you for a reason. So I'm going to go on to the next slide very quickly, and if I just wait for the video for a second. So I'm just going to, I've recorded this, and I've actually recorded it too quickly, so I feel I'm going to be like going at an auction pace here. But essentially, I'm going to take you through a quick demo of what to go to the platform is, and what an investor will see when they log in to see profile. We're starting here essentially on the Barclays Demo Directory platform. Yep, perfect. So as a investor, this is the lens of an investor now when the video starts. You can come onto the homepage, you can sign up as a founder or as an investor using the links there. Clicking on the login profile as an investor, I'll be able to sign in and see the directory itself. And we are in. Perfect. So on the dashboard here, I'll be able, as an investor, I'll be able to see companies I liked and saved and write notes on them. And then I can go onto the directory and I can actually have a look at prospecting for future companies that I might want to connect with. On the left, there's a range of filters. So I can select things from sector or whether what they're raising, whether they're currently actively raising, whether they've got turnover, for example. And I can make the filters that are applicable to me as an investor. So I only see the things I want to see. So here I've picked a capital sort, and I can see the sorts of companies that come through. I think we started with about 180, 190 on here. I'm now down to about 12. I can see profiles, and if the ones I want to see more of, I can literally click on them and get a full profile. On here, I can see things such as the LinkedIn profile. I can see their social media links, company house director registration, demo videos, up to 5 demo videos and up to 10 images. So if you want to get across certain things about your business, you can put them in here. We can see about what you're raising, what you're seeking, what turnover you've got, even the committed capital you've got. Learn some key questions about the team. And this was too quick for me to talk through, as you can tell. And if I was interested in contacting, literally go back up to the top, and the connection there is there. So from an investor's lens, I'm happy to play that again if that was too quick, by the way. But from an investor's lens, you can see all of the information that you want to see, and you have the option to connect directly to the founder on the platform, but it just essentially takes you off the platform to your Hotmail, your Outlook, whatever it is you use, or the telephone number. Okay. I apologise before I turn the next slide on. This is the worst design slide I've ever done. I feel ashamed, don't worry. So the question, last question I wanted to answer was, how can I apply? You've already told me it's free. You told me it's about making my life more efficient. How can I apply? So I put a QR code link there, which takes you straight to the website, to the platform. There's also the website at the top if you wanted to type it in directly. And quite simply, as a founder, if you wanted to create a listing, it would probably take you about 20 minutes if you know what you're talking about. You simply need to go onto the website, create a profile. We'll verify your email address to make sure you are not a robot. And then once you've logged in after that, you can create your listing. You'll answer, I think it's 5 pages of questions. They're not that detailed. Most of them are character limited. And I think a couple of the pages are more about, tells you company name, company number, that sort of stuff. And I have to emphasize the word submit. We have a team working on this that contacts lots of people saying, you've saved your application, you haven't submitted it. So emphasis on please submit it if you create an application. And then from an investor's perspective, something similar. You create a profile, so you come onto the platform, you sign up. We need to verify you're not a robot again. And then the second you've signed up, we'll be validating that you're eligible to go onto the platform. But ultimately, you can start searching and filtering it with immediacy. So you can go and hunt for companies today if you want to. And the option is yours if you want to browse and connect. I'm conscious I've run through that really quickly. I think I was feeling pressed for time, but I've actually left myself about 5 minutes left at the end. So I'm open for any questions if anyone wanted to ask me a question. Do you want to?
Thanks for the very clear, good presentation. What's in it for Barclays?
Everybody
you're creating a wonderful platform that's free for everyone. It's just too good to be true, surely.
Exactly. Everyone asked me this question because who can trust a banker is what I believe is the question. No, genuinely, I get asked this question every time I speak. And the truth is, like, if I go back to, this isn't about demo directories, this is about Eagle Labs in general. Everyone goes, why does Eagle Labs, or why does Barclays pump all this money into the UK ecosystem? I like to view it this way. So Barclays is a large corporate. Ultimately, the success of Barclays, the share price, relates very closely to the success and the growth of the government, the ecosystem, right? We are essentially, because we bank, whether every industry, we feel the effects of the economy. And so I like to feel that the growth engine of the UK is not the corporates of the world, it's the SME. And Barclays is investing in supporting that engine to make sure that the economy is stronger going forwards. The stronger the SME engine, SMEs can do 20% next year. Barclays won't do 20% next year. Probably shouldn't say that, I'll probably get sacked. But you can see where the growth is going to come, I think. And so we want to support these companies now. They are the large corporates of the future. And so if we can support that journey and accelerate that journey now, that's where I think Barclays will get its return. But genuinely, it's free. I wrote the business plans for it. There's no ambition to charge for it. It is too good to be true, as you said. So, no problem. Does anybody else have any questions?
It's a little bit of a nerdy question, but you said you check your investors to make sure they're sophisticated investors and you're not going to deal with people. But then the last thing you said was, while you're checking that, people can start connecting.
Yep, spot on.
So how do you stop any bad actions?
We have a 2-day SLA to make sure that we're working to make sure. Sorry, SLA agreement to get this stuff done. To make sure that we're riddling out the people that shouldn't be going. You're spot on. The reason why we've allowed access is because we're essentially penalising those that are qualifying from accessing it if we say, oh, you're qualified, but you're not coming on. So we have a 2-day SLA, and then we have to get, depending on what the this is going to get really nerdy, by the way, depending on the level of why you qualify under the 5 different points under the professional investor or self-certified sophisticated investor, depending on why you qualify, we'll have to follow that through. And it could be that you need to evidence which angel group you're a part of, for example. The long and short of it is, you will only really see qualifying investors coming onto the platform and connecting. And we're 2-day SLA is our maximum time to process. We at the moment processing them every day. They're priority when an investor signs up. So it could be that you signed up today and we reject you in 20 minutes if you can't evidence what we're asking you to evidence. Okay. But
Okay.
2 days just for comfort for the regulator.
Thank you.
But good question. You had a question. Yep. So we're limited. Thank you for picking that up. So yeah, we're limited to UK-based businesses at the moment. That's largely to do with the entity that we work for, as Barclays UK. Ambition is to try and make that global going forward, but at the moment, just UK-based businesses. Yeah. So not that I can confirm or deny at this moment in time, unfortunately. Good question, but if I told you 6 months and it was 7, yeah, right. Right, I've got, I think, 2 minutes left. Does anybody else have any other questions? No? Like, I think it gives you 2 more minutes in your panel then. Perfect.
And just to reiterate what Benjamin said, one of the reasons we wanted to bring a Barclays Eagle Lab to Discovery Park was that all the advice that they provide is free of charge. You don't need to bank with them. One of the particular areas of interest for us is that they also operate across a health, wellness and life sciences vertical. So if you are a health innovator or an entrepreneur working in this space, please, I urge you to look at the website and have a look at the programs that they run specifically for our sector.